Well, tonight on Cavuto, I think the president's got a serious case of them there midterm blues. Now, I can't sing. These guys sure can.
Why isn't our government doing something about this? I'll be the first one to say it. President Obama does not care about postpartum Taylor Swift disorder.
I'm pretty sure that's why the Democrats lost the Senate. But, I mean, how do you know the president doesn't care?
I know he doesn't care because I asked him.
When did you ask the president?
Yesterday. I jumped the White House fence, ran across the lawn. Door was wide open.
Shooey! Even the president's pals doing little to ease his achy, breaky heart. Maybe because they were all too busy throwing him under the bus.
The White House missed an opportunity when President Obama was just elected, had control of the House and the Senate. There's a lot of disappointment.
It just doesn't make sense that we have to fight so hard against our own government and our own administration and our own president to try to find a balance.
Hillary has done her job in distancing herself from the president.
And even a once compliant press corps proving the bloom is off them there Obama rose.
In 2010, you called the results of the midterm election a shellacking. What do you call this?
Was it a mistake for you to do so little to develop relationships with Republicans?
It is a fact that your party rejected you in these midterms. By and large, they did not want you out on the campaign trail in these key battleground states.
The president might not get it, MSNBC might not see it, but 48 hours after drubbing, it is clear most everybody else knows it. Forget about whether the president's going to have problems working with Republicans. He's going to have a devil of a time working with Democrats. So lost, so long, so lame ducked. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and I think it is the Democrats' version of that country song, How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away? Keep telling you day after day. Bottom line here is Barack Obama's got 2 years left, and they're telling him to go away. So put another way, the president might be going on, but he ain't going on, which I think is voters' way of saying Barack Obama's been flushed from the bathroom of our hearts. Now just a bug on the windshield of life. Sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it all comes together. Sometimes you're a fool in love. And I love that particular song. Then there's the lame duck blues, right? To our Fox Biz All-Stars, Sabrina Schaefer, Jonas Max Ferris, and Veronica Dagher on What You Gonna Do, What You Gonna Do, Veronica.
Wow, it's some tough medicine for the president to handle right now. He's always been the media darling for so long. So hearing this pushback from entertainers, from the press corps, it's got to hurt him a lot. He has to be a little bit confused at this point. I think what's going to be interesting, though, to see if he really takes it to heart. I mean, he's got 2 more years. There is a possibility that they could work on some legislation together with this new Congress. There's been such a dramatic shift in power. Will he change? He's not going to take it on. Because there's another country song that says he's not going to take it to heart, Sabrina. So I don't know. I look at his demeanor in the press conference. I look at what all these aides are reporting. He's saying that it's everybody else's problem but mine.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the arrogance that people are picking up on, whether he's politically toxic, he's now socially and culturally toxic. But I think it's partly because he's been so divisive, right? People are tired of a leader who has been pitting us against one another, men against women, rich against poor, Wall Street against Main Street. People don't want to turn to their neighbors and feel, hatred and anger towards them. We want to feel that we've come together, that we voted on substance and unity, and that we can move forward as a country. Some major problems that we have to contend with, like immigration, like energy exploration.
I agree with all of the above. It does take 2 to tango and 2 to be stubborn, and I think Republicans certainly have their fair share of blame for that. But the fact is, after the midterms, it's made it clear the American people are kind of just sick of this guy and sick of his policies, and yet he didn't acknowledge it. So all these people who are hoping that things will get better, I don't know. I don't know, Jonas.
I blame his party more. I actually feel sorry for Obama at this point. His party really has no backbone. How much should he have achieved compared to other Democrats in history? You have to
acknowledge problems along the way, though.
But if they sold
that dog
if they
don't
turned the lemons into lemonade, they wouldn't have had to acknowledge the problems in the first place. Look, this guy, if everybody who got a benefit from Obama over the last few years voted for in this midterm, this never would have happened. They got people who got money for cars. They got underwater homes they got to refinance.
Yeah, but everyone else paying for it got pissed off.
Right, but those people weren't going to vote for him anyway. The people that got the health care that they couldn't get, if all these people went out and voted, how come the Democrats couldn't get those people to vote?
So you're mad at the Democratic Party's aching
what sells itself, these
One of the reasons, I think, Jonas, one of the reasons is that the Republicans actually, to their credit, put up a lot of candidates this year who had sort of compelling stories, who were really authentic. People like Joni Ernst or Mara Linda Garcia in New Hampshire, who didn't win, but who come across as authentic people. And I think that's the thing that most reasonable voters actually want.
Reasonable people want other people to be reasonable and admit when they make mistakes, because we all do. I mean, not me, but other, let's say, anchors
I do.
But one of the things I think we can take away from this, Veronica, is what hurt this president is never acknowledging mistakes. I'll give all the good points that Jonas just pointed out. For those, some are benefiting from health care. I've yet to find them, but some are there. But my point is quite seriously that he didn't acknowledge a single problem, and when he did, it was always someone else's fault. And I think, using JFK as a good example, who never did that, Bill Clinton, who certainly didn't do it 20 years ago, Ronald Reagan with Iran-Contra. I mean, when you think you're above it all and have sharing none of the blame, you will do none of the fix.
It comes unauthentic. I think people want a leader who's going to show some accountability, because that's what the rest of us have to do. We all still have to pay our taxes. We all still have to answer to someone.
I goofed. I misunderstood.
I think that would have helped him. I think that would have made him more real and more relatable as a person. I think he's distanced himself so much from the average person, and I think that was reflected in the polls.
Okay, thank you, guys.